Well, welcome back to the channel. I am getting back on this lawnmower go-kart build that I'm doing. The last video that I did on this has been like 3 weeks, I think. It might have been over that, but I put the pulley on it on the back, and I actually on that same day I started taking the belt off on the bottom, and so that's how this is gonna start. So it might look a little so anyway, it's just that I recorded taking this belt off because I needed to go get a new one. I got a new one. I got a shorter one, and so I wanted to get that belt off to measure it, and so the footage from that I'm going to throw in with this in this video. That's what you'll watch next, is me taking this thing apart, and then I'm going to start putting this belt on. I don't believe that I'm going to have this thing to where I'm going to be able to try to run it today in this video. Hopefully the next video. I've said that, I know, a couple times, but I still have some exhaust I got to figure out on this thing. I really want to take this rear end gearbox apart and just look into it and see what kind of condition it's in before I run it, and maybe grease things up and such. And then I gotta come up with a way to be able to shift it. So, any rate, but today I'm going to get started putting that belt on. So you're gonna see a little bit of what 3 weeks ago, me taking the old belt off, and then me putting this new one on. All right, let's see if I can remember how to put this together without going back to the video. That might be difficult. It's been, like I said, it's been a while, and I might have to go watch that video because it's been too long. Oh man. Somebody has a, that's very interesting. What is going on right there? Oh, found something interesting. I will show you guys what I just found. This is the steering. Somebody's got a hose clamp. I wonder what that's about. Huh. I don't know what that's about. And I also don't know if I'm wanting to open that can of worms at the moment. So I'm probably not gonna. But I do know about it, so that's good. I'm gonna go and watch this video and just try to refresh myself of how this goes back together, because to be totally honest with you, I'm gonna struggle to remember how this goes back together if I don't watch it, because like I said, it's been 3 weeks or so, and you guys will just be watching me struggle, and that won't make for good content. I want to get this put back together. So anyway, I'll be right back. For you it'll be like that quick. That honestly did not take me very long. I just got to a point in the video, because the video is on computer, and so I don't want to have that out here. got to a point, I paused it so I could see what it looked like put together, and then I snapped a picture with my phone so that I have a reference, if so I don't have to go back to the computer to refresh my memory. So I believe I have it now, so we'll start putting this thing back together. Okay, I already got to look at the picture. And it was just in there. Pictures, pictures. It's a good thing we can take pictures. Okay. Can't remember. This is the tensioner. And I'm trying to remember how that went on. Let's see. My phone went black. Yeah, let's see. Let's look in here. Maybe we'll get this going here. I had to take this apart because the belt has to go into this, obviously. So I think I might be. I just dropped something. What did I drop? Probably a washer or something. I don't know if I need grease or anything. Okay. That goes on like this, so that what I grabbed the wrong nut. Not doing very good this morning, honestly. But we'll make it through. We'll make it through. I don't think that's right. Okay. That, I believe. Let me double check. Double check, check. Oh, I gotta check again because now I feel like I'm. Alright. Just keep on keeping on here. We should be right there. Oh, yeah. So sometimes it just self-explanatorizes itself, you know, as you go. Like it just did. Oh man, struggling a bit here. A bit on the struggle bus right now. There we go. That. It looks good. It doesn't mean anything, but it looks good. I got me a. I don't remember if I had a washer for that or not. I don't see one. I know it's a cotter pin goes in there. Which one of these cotter pins it is, I'm not real sure. I got a bunch of them sitting around, obviously. I got it. Put back together. There's a big spring that goes from here. I think it's no, it's right here. It goes from here to here. It pulls these together. The problem there is that I put it somewhere so that it wouldn't be just like knocked off or so I did something with it and I can't now figure out what it is that I did with it or where I put it or anything. I got a fly buzzing around here that needs to die. Anyway, so I gotta find that spring, put it somewhere safe. Usually what that means is that I put it somewhere safe from me so that I can't find it. And I've been looking for it for a few minutes, so I did pretty good at hiding it from myself. Probably none of you do that, but unfortunately I do it. So give me a second and I'm gonna see if I can find that spring. I found it. So now we're gonna put it back on, and let's see. Now the other thing is I gotta try to remember exactly how it went back on. Whoa, I pulled the whole thing over. Woo! Probably don't have to tell you. Sketchy that was. Okay, so, oh, I gotta tighten that up. Probably be helpful. Luckily you guys saw that, told me about it, because it could have been bad. I think we would have lost that. Pretty well set for under here. And then I think what I'm going to do now is I think I'm going to work on a little bit of exhaust so that I can fire this thing up and not be stupid loud. It'll probably still be loud. My idea is that I'm going to make my own, like, muffler. We'll see how that goes. But if it works, then it's going to work. This is the manifold that comes out. I need to build a plate for this so that I can weld a pipe onto it that'll be bolted on there. Here's the piece that I decided to use, and I was able to drill a big hole in it. So now I just gotta mark out the like the template of that manifold, and then I'll cut that out, drill the other two holes, and then I'll have the plate for my exhaust. Okay, I'm going to try to make a template here. Try to just hold it in one place and just really try to mark out the edges. See even the hole, the center hole. I think that'll do it. There it is, you can see it. Hopefully you guys can see it. I can see it. So, I cut this out with a pair of scissors. Ta-da, just like that. Now, I will put this as a template down on my piece of metal over here. that's what I came up with. And so obviously that's the way it's going to work, like so. The big hole in the middle is on this piece is a little bit smaller than that one there, so it's going to restrict a little bit, but this is the pipe that I'm going to be using. This is the old muffler, came in right there, and so honestly that's actually quite perfect. If you can see this, hopefully, let's see how that just fits over it. So I'll be able to get it set on there, and then I'll be able to tack weld that on just about perfectly. And then, so I'm going to have that turn, so that this 90 right here will turn out like this, and then I'll have like a muffler right here. So I think I'm going to need to put the hood back on just to make sure that I'm not getting into the hood and having to cut that section of the hood any more than I already have. I want it to just come out right where I have space. So, and then I can't let it go too far back, because then it's going to get into, the feet. I might be able to turn it down, maybe. I don't know if I've got another piece that I can play with. But I got to see if I've got another. I have another piece. Let's see. I have this piece of pipe, and that is exactly the same size as this here. So I'll be able to weld that right onto it. And my plan is to drill holes in that, and then take a bigger piece of pipe that'll sleeve over top of that, and then the end to weld to it, and then the back end, that'll make the muffler. So it'll be a through muffler, but it's just going to be perforated. That pipe will be perforated inside a bigger pipe. Still going to be loud probably, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll put, I don't know what I'll do. But you're coming along with me in whatever it is I'm doing. So you may think, hey, that was a great idea, or you may just be embarrassed for me. I don't know. We'll find out. So, okay, I'll get after it. Alright, here's my piece. I just got a small tack there, small tack there. For right now, just so you guys can see what I'm after, that's what I'm looking at. And then, like I said, I'll get another piece. I'll have to reroute that, obviously. But I'll get another piece on here. See what I can do. Almost wish that I could turn it here and bring it out a little more. Yeah, I think that's my best option right now, right there. So I'll see if I've got a piece of this other pipe that has a little bit of a bend on it, and try that. Try to just have a little bend and come out this way. I had this piece, you can see it's got a little angle just to kick it out. Comes out here. This won't be my final length, I don't think. I'm just playing. I've never made a muffler before, so I'm just kind of playing around with this thing. I figure if I don't get a muffler made for this that works well, then I can throw it away. It's no big deal. It's just a stupid little go-kart mower. It's not a big deal, but this is just kind of a way for me to play my head. I think I can make one that'll work, and so I'm giving it a shot. So that's an update. That's where I'm at. I got to cut that bigger piece and do a bunch of pie cuts on it, try to get it to, and I'll bring you guys back when I get to that point. This is what I've done, and we're going to find out together how well this works. I'm just taking all these pieces of pie out, and then I'll mash these down, connect the dots, weld them back together, and then hopefully I wind up with a 1-inch pipe on each end. I I believe that I've got enough of this that when I mash this down, it might be smaller than a 1-inch hole. If that's the case, that'll be perfect, because then I can cut it down. If it's bigger than a 1-inch hole, then that's gonna be a problem. But if it's smaller than a 1-inch hole, then I'll be able to cut this a little shorter till I get a 1-inch hole in and out, and then I'll weld all these. Okay, so obviously I have a lot more work to do, but that is it. It just slips on there. Pretty cool. That actually worked out. That was a lot of work. I still have to finish welding all these cracks. Still have to drill the holes in this pipe, and then, you know, slip this over, weld the 2 ends, and then figure out what I want to do to terminate. If I want to just leave it like that, or cut it kind of at an angle. So I don't know, we'll see. But I am liking it. Looks pretty cool. So hopefully it works as good as it looks. If it works as good as it is, as cool as it looks, I'll be happy with it. So let me get after. I got a lot more to do, a lot more welding and everything, and drilling holes. I'm gonna mark the ends of where that's sitting right now, and then I'll know where to drill the holes in that pipe, and I'll pull that off, drill the holes in the pipe, weld that thing up. So as you can see, that was a lot of drilling. I drilled a lot of holes in that thing. So I wanted to show you that. And then, I don't know if you could see it in that time-lapse video, but I stuck a screwdriver in and bent down on these holes. So I don't know if you guys can pick that up, but they're cupped. That cups them in on the bottom side here and out on the top side. So as the air goes through, it should help it to pull it into that cavity that this thing's gonna create. Like I said, I've never done this before, so I'm just trying it. But that should be what it does. It's a lot like, you know, glass packs, I believe, look that way on the inside, and then the other would be a lot like a suppressor. Would run on that kind of that same concept. Right. There you have it. I painted it. I made it look like a cherry bomb. Kind of cool. Get some light on it. I think it looks cool. So, any rate, hopefully it works. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work. It may still be a little bit loud. And then down at the bottom, I'm gonna have to make a little bracket that'll hook up, you know, right in this area, like something to come up here and then grab it with a hose clamp or something, just to keep it from vibrating and you know, either those bolts coming loose because of that, or things just breaking because it would be like so. Anyway, this thing's getting a lot closer to like running. So next week I will try to start this thing. So make sure you look for that video for next week, because now that I have the muffler on it, I'll hook up the wiring, and I have to pump I got oil in there, so I gotta run, try to make sure there's no oil in the cylinder and clear out the carburetor stuff. But anyway, that will be pretty easy to do, and then I'm gonna try to fire this thing up and see if I can put it in gear, just sitting here with no tires, and see how things go. Anyway, and so we'll be able to tell what that muffler sounds like. I will probably take the muffler off and run it with the muffler off and with the muffler on, so that we'll really get an idea of how it sounds, what the difference is. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it, comment, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you are interested in semi-trucks, I put out a video last week of a show for semi-trucks that, I just walked around and I interviewed a couple guys, one of the guys that I know. And it was a pretty good video, so check that out if you haven't already. And look forward to next week. Until then, have a blessed week, and remember that Jesus loves you. Thanks for watching.